Thirsty for the troll, the dragon section. Anything, yay! Again, what the fuck do I care about the fucking Hightowers? At the end, I see like the name. I have finished! Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Benita and I'm so happy you're joining me today. I love talking about all things books and showing you guys a glimpse of my lifestyle navigating London. If you love this kind of videos, please subscribe. Thank you so much. So today is Wednesday and I'm just getting ready to leave to go into the office. Running late a bit right now. What time is it? Maybe not actually, it's 8 o'clock. I'm not running too late. So I'm starting a new reading vlog for you guys today because so over the weekend I binged House of the Dragon because I think I told you guys I am a big fan of Game of Thrones. I don't think I portray how much of a fan I am. Like, I am a big nerd of Game of Thrones, but I never read any of the books because I just felt a little bit too big and I didn't think it was my vibe. But now that I'm like getting into fantasy a little bit, like I need to read it because I'm obsessed. And my favorite house is House Targaryen. So imagine my excitement and like jubilation that we are getting a series that's entirely about the Targaryen history. So I binge watched the first season of House of the Dragon over the weekend, and now the new season 2 has started. I wanted to like wait to like about season 3 to watch it so I can binge watch it because I don't like waiting around for the next episode and things like that, and I know I was gonna feel, and I felt that way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the book. There is a book about the Targaryen history, Fire and Blood. This entire new series, House of the Dragon, is based on Fire and Blood, which is the first book in the series. So last night I started Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. So this book is a chunky book. It's about 600 pages. Last night I read about 26 pages and I'm still only 4% into this book. So I just started last night. So this vlog is just going to be me reading this. So I feel like if I read book 1, if I read the entire series, I think I'll do a video for each book because I feel like the books are quite lengthy. If I read the entire series in one video, it's going to be too long. Guys, I am so excited. The books are very confusing because I don't know if this is classed as high fantasy. Maybe it's high fantasy because oh my god, like I understand the world because I've watched the shows and I love the family, so I kind of have a little bit of a background of the world, but the names, there's so many names and so many families, like to keep everything together. So I'm reading this on my Kindle, but I think I'm going to read it with an audiobook as well so that I can at least help me with the pronunciation of the names. I will retain more information both ways. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to introduce the new vlog and hope you guys enjoy this. I am so excited to see it. I hope I'm not disappointed because I'm going to do a lot of check-ins on this. This book is structured like a textbook. So basically it is written in the point of view like a minstrel mentioning the history of what happened, like that. It's like a history textbook kind of thing. That's kind of how this book is written. So it's quite nice to read because I feel like I'm studying. You know, you read your history textbook or social studies in school, it reads like that, so it's quite nice. One thing I do love about this book though is it has like illustrations inside, structured like a textbook. It's kind of easy to digest a little bit, I think, because if it was in different point of view with all the characters and things going on, it might get a little bit confusing. So it's quite nice that it's all from one point of view, one voice. Guys, hi my lovely people. Hi guys. Today is Thursday and I feel like I haven't like spoken to you guys in such a while because we work this week. I've been in the office every day this week. I'm sick, and tomorrow's Friday, which is normally I work from home. I'm going to the office as well, so I was in office all week this week because it's just been so crazy hectic. I'm not complaining because my office has air conditioning and my flat doesn't, so I'm happy to be cool because we've had a massive heat wave this week in London. And now it's about 8:30. I'm just making dinner. This book is so long. Anyway, I'm just 6% into this book. 6% in. So at the moment I am on chapter 4, really. Chapter 4, it's not really like chapters, it goes, well, it's chapters, but each chapter is like a title, like of a historical event. So the first chapter was like Aegon's conquest, and then the reign of a dragon, and then it's like the wars of like King Aegon the First, and then 3 years up. So it just basically like talks about like major events and just explains stuff like that. So it's all about Aegon right now. Where I am right now, the Sons of Dragon, because Aegon is the dragon. Aegon just passed away, so now it's just like finding the next succession after him. I'm a bit confused because I thought Aegon the Conqueror, because if you're watching of the Dragon right now, the series with the king that just died, I thought Aegon 1 was his father, but I don't think Aegon 1 was his father. I think Aegon must have been like his grand uncle, grand auntie. With the Targaryens, it's very hard to decide to determine what they are, because it could be grandfather and brother. You know what I mean? Because they all like, it's quite incestuous. They kind of marry into their family, which is like they want to keep the blood pure, because the purer the blood, because I think only the Targaryens can actually like talk to dragons, or I don't know, communicate with dragons. They want to keep that bloodline pure, so they kind of marry. For example, Aegon the Conqueror literally married his 2 sisters. Yeah, actually, did he have 3? Yeah, 2 sisters, and they were his sister and wife, but they were very close. So they're very loyal to him and stuff. So basically, Aegon the One is the one that kind of, let's say there's 7 kingdoms, and each of them have their own like kings and things like that. But Aegon the Conqueror basically conquered everyone, and then united everyone to become the 7 kingdoms. And his 2 wives were actually like, obviously they're also dragon riders, and they help him like fight the war and things like that. So now that he's dead, most of the kings of those kingdoms thinking that, oh, this new king is weak or whatever, they're trying to like fight again. So King Ennis is the king right now, but it's quite soft. It's not like really a fight. It's not really a warrior. But Prince Margot, sorry, is a military guy, so he's stronger. And then when his brother became king, his older brother became king, it was like, oh, don't bow before me. We're gonna rule together as brothers. And he gifted like one of the like ancestral knife, like it's like a Valyrian steel knife and stuff. But the older guy, I don't think the older guy knows that the younger brother has ambitions to be the king, and his mom, because they have different moms, the mom of the younger brother is pushing for her son to be king, because she first feels like the other guy is weak. And because of that, the kings of the kingdoms all think the same thing. So now they're all fighting back, thinking that they can claim back their territory. I have a feeling that the king is gonna die, and maybe the brother's gonna be the king. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like things, you know how if you watch Game of Thrones, you know you cannot rely on anybody. Anything can happen anyway. So at the moment, but what really shocked me is that I thought, from watching House of Dragon, it sounded like not peaceful. Like I feel like everybody was peaceful or like cordial. There wasn't any civil war between the Targaryens until the Dance of the Dragon, which is kind of what the TV show is about. But from this, maybe there was a little bit of a civil war that wasn't like as big as this Dance of Dragons. But one thing I am happy about is that I'm listening to it as I read it as well, because even with me listening to it as audio, I'm still butchering the names.
I've become obsessed again. I'm finding things I thought I'd forget. Foolish me. I really thought I'd move on from these things. What did I do? How did I get here? I closed my eyes on the highway out of pure fear. Then I crashed into you.
Guys, good morning. It's Saturday today, and I'm really excited that it's Saturday because I can actually have the time, the dedicated time to tackle this bloody book. This is I think this is the longest I've ever read a book. Like, I am a fast reader. I'm not sure if it's because of, I don't know, maybe it's complicated or I don't know what it is. Something about this book is just making me take ages to read it. I'm enjoying it because I'm very interested in the content of this book, but I've never read a book this slow, so I'm not sure it's because of time. I'm telling you guys, I'm sitting on 17% of this book. This book is 614 pages. I think I'm on page 105 right now. So at this moment where I am in the book right now, King Menor just died. Is the cruel king. It's very cruel. Oh my god. There are some things that I highlighted in this book. This guy was like, so if you guys have watched Game of Thrones, I'm sure you guys get some of my references here. So I always think the biggest villain for me, like watching the Game of Thrones, was Joffrey. Joffrey was awful. Like, some of the things he did was just like so bad. It was very cruel. Another cruel king was, oh, what was that guy? The guy that did like is it Bolton? Yeah, the guy that fought with Jon Snow, the Battle of the Bastards. That guy, I think his name is Bolton. He was awful as well. But them two, I couldn't tell between them two were like evil people, like cruel people. But this Prince Menor guy is a Targaryen. He was cruel. Oh my god, some of the things he did like was horrible and stuff. So I've just finished the part of his terror, like it's rainy. And in fact, that some of the horrific things he did, because the chapter went on for such a long time. And then at the end, I just realized he only ruled for 6 years. Like, in 6 years, the damage that man did. I know that wasn't that easy. Like, I guess it's easy when you have a dragon, but like, he did some horrific things. I'm just like, oh wow. Joffrey and they were child's play when it comes to this. This guy. This guy had literally anybody could get it.
What did I do? How did I get here? I closed my eyes on the highway out of pure fear. Then I crashed into you. Oh, tell them about when we met. Our story.
Hey guys, it's now about 3 o'clock in the day. So I've made a massive dent in the book now, or no massive, a little bit of a dent. So I'm taking a bit of a break because I do have some editing to do. So I'm going to take a few hours to do some editing because I have a video that needs to go out tomorrow. So I need to make sure everything's ready because that video is not fully edited yet. So I need to do that now. Well, I'm just checking with you guys. So at this point, Prince or King Jaehaerys is been crowned the king for a year now, but because he's 15, he can't really sit on the throne by himself, like rule by himself. So his mom is the Queen Regent, and Lord Baratheon, I can't remember his first name, is the king's aunt. Queen Regent and at the hand of the king, that Lord Baratheon, they got married and they kind of like ruling the country together. I was a bit suspicious about like the intent of that, the hand of the king, because sometimes I feel like the hand of the king, they always overreach because they're so close to the power. Like, you're kind of ruling with the king and they're so close to power. They always get super hungry. They always, all of them, like from all the watching Game of Thrones, they always like overstep and overreach. So I was a bit like iffy about it. Anyway, so as I said, Jaehaerys is 15 and now they're like, okay, they need to like obviously arrange a marriage for him and stuff. But he had every intention to marry his sister. The Queen Regent and the hand of the king, Lord Baratheon, were saying like, obviously they've had this massive war about like the religious people not really like, they don't want incest anymore, and they're like trying to abolish incest, and they've done such massive battle to kind of make peace with the religious folk at the time. So they don't want to kind of like start up this whole thing again by if they married. So they were trying to talk about like the arranged marriage of arranging a marriage for the sister, and they're going to arrange a marriage for the king or the princess. Is called Alysanne, I think. Again, the names are so similar because the queen regent is called Alysanne as well. Like, the names are so confused. I don't know why they have to make the names so similar. Now they're trying to arrange a marriage for the princess, and this is when I was a bit off with the hand of the king, because then it wanted to arrange a marriage between his brother and the princess, which I think, why that? Because you want to make your house more powerful. I don't know, it was just giving a bit off. Anyway, the princess heard about it, and then she was going to tell her brother. So in the middle of the night, king and the princess kind of ran away to Dragonstone with 7 of the king's guard, because they had this massive tournament, and now he has 7 king's guard that are protecting him. And then they got married by a scepter in Dragonstone, but then they didn't consummate the marriage because she was too young. I think she's about, if it's 15, she's 13. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I can't, some of the time the age, when they say their age, I'm thinking like, oh my god, they're so young. I know it's like a different time, but dear god. Anyway, I just have to look. The kings and the queen regent found out. They went to like the Dragonstone to kind of confront them and stuff like that, and just were not having any of it, blah blah blah. So now they've had this massive battle about it. Like, there's a little back and forth. They try to break them apart and things like that. They try to keep it on the hush hush. I've just finished that chapter because now it's now 16, and so you can now rule the kingdom. So this is where I've started. So the next chapter is his reign, his first test as a king or whatever, and then it's gonna go on from there. And I was right. This King Jaehaerys is the same King Jaehaerys we saw in the first season of the House of the Dragons, the one that elected Viserys as the king. So it's that old guy. I think I'm getting closer to the House of the Dragon, which I think is called the Dance of the Dragon or whatever. But I feel like the next 8 chapter is going to be about this King Jaehaerys' reign with his queen Alysanne, which is also his sister. So I think it's a good time. It's a good place to pause. Morning, guys. Hi. So today is Sunday now, and I just realized after I spoke to you guys yesterday, I just ended up editing, and the editing took longer than I thought, and said video is now live, so go watch it. It's a weekly reading vlog. Then I just wanted to catch you guys up where I am. Oh my god, fire and blood. How am I still on 38%? So I think yesterday when I spoke to you guys, I was like about 150 pages in. Now I'm on 250 pages, and it's now the long reign, Jaehaerys and Alyssanne's policy, progeny, and pain. I just want to give you an update of where I am in the book. So now that the King Jaehaerys is not sitting on the throne, old enough, not on the throne, just got to work straight away, like setting up new laws, trying to see how to fund, like, because by this point the crown was almost broke, so you kind of think of ways to kind of fund the crown basically. And obviously he's been training for the past year, and it looks better, more stronger, like it's very smart. It was just like a gracious king. Anyway, after everything was sorted, then he brought his queen, which is also his sister, Alysanne, onto the crown. And both of them are now ruling. They now have 3 kids. Daenerys is their first daughter, which was, oh my god, Daenerys, but it's not Daenerys Targaryen. It's another one, because they all have similar names. And then they had a son called Aegon as well, the 3rd child, another boy called Baron. Then they had more. They had like up to 8 kids. They are really together, Alysanne and Jaehaerys. They're like a partner. They've had some tragedy. Their mom died. She had like a kid at 45. Finally gave Lord Baratheon and her. So everything seems to be going okay. And now they implemented a lot of like laws, Alysanne laws. As I said, they're really together. So she's done a thing where, like, obviously Jaehaerys listens to its people. It's kind of like wants people to see him and things like that, because he just wants them to feel like he's the people's king and something like that. And then Alysanne also listened to the women. So I think in this time she made a lot of like women's revolution. As savagery and as basic as it is, she still made an impact. For example, one of the things that struck out to me is that, so they did a tour and went to the north, like to see that the Starks, and she went to the wall. Oh, I want to speak to the women, and the only women there are like basically like prostitutes and stuff. So she went to speak. She went to like hear their voice, and she kind of heard their stories of how they ended up there, like obviously, and basically, oh my god. So, and then when she got back to King's Landing after they did the tour of the north, she went to, like, she spoke to the king and the council and like told them to change this law. the law is basically means that. So, for example, if a fisherman, someone that's not of royal blood, like a civilian, if you get married, obviously, when you get married to your wife, she's meant to be like a virgin, like her virtue is still intact. A lord can just, you know, when you instead of consummating with your wife, a lord can say he wants to consummate your wife for you. How disgusting is that? So all these lords, some of them are fat, disgusting, some of them have never washed for a year. So basically, when some of them happen, some of these men can't get over it because of their tiny ego. Like, she wasn't even forced. They talk as like she chose to be raped. Oh my god, some of the things in this book, I swear to God. I just have to think, okay, just look past it, it's a different time. It's a different time, it's not real. Oh, now she's a whore. Because some of them, they get pregnant and the child are bastard. And then some of these women, because their husband can't get over them, they just war and like become prostitutes and stuff because they're seen as not nice women anymore. Which is so fucking painful to read. And can you imagine what these women are going through? Queen was explaining to the court like this story, like, okay, we need to change this law, this can't be happening anymore. Like, this law is over 20 centuries ago, that no one needs to do that anymore. Like, can you guys just change that law and stuff? And then one of the men in the council were like, oh, you know, because apparently the reason why this rule was a thing is because when that happened before, if these women get raped and they get like pregnant with like a lord's child, they're seen as being, they're so grateful to have a hero's bastard in their belly. Like, oh my god. Anyway, that law was changed, and they called it the second Alysanne law. I can't remember the first one. A castle or something. They needed like a space, like a building to be done, but they didn't have the money. So she sold all her Jews to fund it. And she was actually a nice queen, but I feel like there's a bit of conflict coming on between her and Jaehaerys, because obviously Daenerys is their first daughter, but Jaehaerys keeps calling his first son the heir to the throne. And then she's like, no, she is not the heir to the throne. Your daughter is the heir to the throne. She's the firstborn. And then it was like, she'll be queen once, because they're going to get married and going to rule together like we are. But that's not the point. The point is, even if they get married and they rule together, she's the queen. So he's a king's consort. That's how it should be. So she's not happy about that. Now, in this new chapter I'm starting, I feel like they're going to have a bit of a clash in terms of who's going to like inherit the throne. But now they've been ruling now for over 10 years. Also, I just remember now. So I don't know if I mentioned before, like their sister, Rhaena, their older sister, that was married to their older brother, Aegon, uncrowned. She wanted the throne, but she went into, not exile, she ran away, and I went into hiding when their uncle was like being like a terrorist or whatever. So she kind of made loads of friends, and she married again. That'll be her third husband. And then a dragon, I can't remember what dragon's name, Dreamfire or something. He laid 3 eggs, right? But one of her friends basically stole those 3 eggs and ran off to like Brazos and sold those 3 eggs to get like loads of money. But now I'm thinking, if you watch Game of Thrones, there were 3 eggs that Daenerys got in Brazos. I feel like those are the eggs. I feel like those are the 3 eggs that Daenerys ended up having, because those eggs were because when she got that egg in Game of Thrones, they thought those eggs were stones basically, because they've been for 300 years, and this book is 300 years before what? Game of Thrones. Oh my god! Oh, when I saw that, oh my god, the connection is there. Hi guys. I'm just taking a little bit of a break from reading. It's a little cold now, so I'm just like I put on a little jacket. Guys, we're almost in July. I'm not going to talk about the weather. I'm not going to do it. Okay, break, because I literally now just got to the part where the title is called Question of Succession. So Jaehaerys has to choose who's gonna like take over. We know who's gonna choose, but you know. But the chapter I've read now was like 56 pages long, so it's quite nice. But it was a nice little roundup of what it came. And I was wrong. Jaehaerys and Alysanne had 11 kids. 11. But like there were so many sad stories about like some of them died like stillborn, some of them died like from like illness. And Princess Sarah one of the daughters, she was evil. She reminded me a lot of Cersei, but more stubborn. And she was a bit of a, okay, I don't want to use the word, but that's the word I use. She was a bit of a whore. Because she ran away, and then she went to a brothel, and then just like, yeah, became like, basically, a prostitute and stuff. And then she was disowned. And then one of the daughters died drunk. She snuck out of the castle to go and drinking with some guys. And then she fell and broke her neck and died. So it's just six. Yeah, so many like things have happened, so many tragedies that happened. The king and queen had a bit of a fight, obviously, with the Princess Sarah case. They had a bit of a conflict there. But now Queen Alysanne is now dead. She died at age 64, which is in those days is basically 150. And then I thought that they had a bit of a fight about who's gonna inherit the crown. It was gonna be Daenerys, their first daughter, or Prince Aemon. I think I said it was Prince Aegon. It's actually not Prince Aegon. His name is Aemon. Prince Aemon. But Princess Daenerys, she died. So King Aemon has a daughter, Rhaena. If you're watching House of Dragons, you know who she is. Rhaena, she was the one that married the prince from the Valerian prince in Dreadful. So basically the woman that married the black guy in the show. Anyway, so she's the daughter of Aemon, and their brother, the third in line, Prince Baron and Princess Alyssa, brothers and sisters, they got married, and then they had Viserys and Daemon. You know where I'm going with this now. Anyway, so Daenerys is dead. So because she's died, Aemon is in line for the throne, and then his daughter Rhaena is obviously his heir. But then Aemon also died in battle. So that means Rhaena is now the heir to the throne, right? At this point, she's already has a child. So obviously she is meant to be the queen, sorry. Now the queen is dead. The king is on his own, because obviously they ruled together, they're really close. Now they're calling him the old king, because now he's like 50, 65 or 66 or something. And back, as I said, back then, that's basically 150. So he's really old at this point. So I can imagine he's tired, he's outbroken, he's lost so many children, he's lost his love of his life. So I'm very intrigued what's going to happen. So this is when the kickoff of the House of Dragons starts. So I'm taking a bit of a break now. Some of these titles are actually episode title, because this one here is Song for a Son was the title of the second episode of season 2 of House of Dragons. You know, I said before that some of the parts of the books are a bit waffly. Like they talk about, like, they just go into detail about each character, but that makes sense because it's a textbook. They'll tell you about each characters and blah blah and stuff like that. And some of them have slight different impact on the history of the story, and they come back in some way as well, so you can get a full picture and stuff like that. Like, for example, the woman that stole the 3 dragon eggs, I think now she's dead, because a ship was found somewhere and stuff. So like it kind of all like links into the story, like everything, even though it's like the waffle on it. I still think it's quite waffly. Like a few paragraphs can tell you what you need to know, but it's something they go into like few pages about a certain character. Like they do link into the story in a way, but they have such minimal impact I don't think is needed. But again, this is structured as a textbook, so you have to read about everything, even if you had a minimum impact, they all have to be read about. I don't know how I'm gonna rate this book, depending on how it ends. Because I have favorites already. Once I get into the House of Dragon part, I'll start giving you guys my insight of what I think of the show as well, like certain characters. And the reason, what actually drove me to read this book, obviously I always wanted to read about the Game of Thrones books, but what drove me about this book is because I have people I can't stand already on the show, and I did not want them to win. But I feel like the Game of Thrones, no one wins. You know what I mean? No one really wins, to be fair, because we've learned so much after watching Game of Thrones, how it ended. Like, come on, Bran as now the sits on the Iron Throne was such a slap in the face. So like we know, like sometimes people that do minimum work end up getting the prize. So I'm really curious to see what happens. But yeah. Guys, another check-in with you guys, cause I just finished The Reign of the Dragon, A Question of Succession. I just finished that chapter, which is about 40 pages, and now I am 53% in, if that focuses. Yeah, 53% in, so I am halfway through. But guys, we are now in the House of the Dragon section, which is fucking real. I'm finally there, yay! Because this entire chapter just speaks about like Jaehaerys' reign. So like, you know, when he like ascended the throne, him choosing Rhaenyra as his heir, Rhaenyra marrying her cousin, and then obviously having a three sons, the bastard strong sons and stuff. All that is in this. But one thing that they did weird in the TV show, which I think they just did it for like more of an impact, is that Alysanne, which I can't stand, I'm just gonna now I can say why I cannot stand her. Okay, Alysanne and her father can fuck off. Anyway, Arthur Istrom, which is Alyssanne's father, brought into the court when Jaehaerys was still king, and she was Jaehaerys' companion reading to him in bed. And at that point, she was meant to be like 18 or something. And then Nero wasn't even born yet. So basically, the way this book is, because it's a textbook, it's all like in different people's POVs. But one thing that I'm knowing is that basically there's documentation from the Mestros, from the Citadel, documentation from a jester called Mushroom. But from what I can see from the TV show, they are using Mushroom's point of view in this show than they're using the Mestros, because the Mushroom's point of view is more juicier. So according to Mushroom's point of view, Alysanne had relation. Father brought her into, because obviously at that point, Jaehaerys' wife was dead, and the author was. I told you, when they become like the hand of the king, they get too comfortable. They're so close to the power that they want it for themselves. Alysanne is very, very good and very beautiful, and obviously he's using her beauty as currency. So he brought her into the court to kind of basically like tempt Jaehaerys. Maybe we'll get married again, like at his old age. Do you know what I mean? But obviously that day, even though I think she did sleep with him, if they're going with Motion's point of view. Anyway, so in the TV show, where they make it look like Alysanne and Rhaenyra were like best of friends, and they grew up together, that's all bullshit. Because then, when the king died and Rhaenyra's gone to the throne, Rhaenyra's gone to the throne, his wife was pregnant, which is where the TV show started, and then she died. And at that point, Alysanne was meant to be like 26, and Jaehaerys was like 13 or something, or 12 or 13. So they didn't grow up together, they were not friends. Anyway, and then right after obviously the woman died and the king married Alysanne, they never liked each other from the start, because they made Alysanne look like she's like innocent and nice, and she was forced to go into like her father. She didn't have any church. She was so young. She was a grown-ass woman. She was hungry for the throne as well, because she, at that point, Rhaenyra didn't have a son, so she thought like if she basically had a son, our kids would be king, which she did. She had like sons like Aegon, I'm gonna worry with the guy with the eye patch. So basically, yeah. So like she was thirsty for the throne, and I'll just give my opinion of what I think watching this, which is why I wanted to read this book. I really wanted to understand what's happening, because on the TV show right now, Alysanne. So the thing about Alysanne is, yeah, that do you know what, yeah? If you're going to be a villain, if you're going to be a bitch, own it. On your, like, I will respect you more if you just say, I am thirsty for the throne, I want this, I'm just oh, this is why I loved Cersei, Game of Thrones. She didn't hide who she was. We all knew she was evil. We all knew what she wanted for herself, like, and I respected her for that. Alysanne is an hypocrite, like, oh my goodness. Like, this is the TV show, she was saying how like she felt bad. She was like really judging Rhaenyra for sleeping with Damon, and then she found out that he actually slept with Christian Cole, because Christian was like really good looking and very handsome and stuff like that. This is a TV show. I think she was jealous because she was saddled with an old man, and she played by the rules and she didn't get a reward, so she just felt bad and jealous and stuff like that. So that's kind of what. So I never liked her in the show, and in the book I don't like her as well, because she's like, Baya, you're a grown-ass woman, why are you fighting with a 12-year-old girl? Like, whatever. Anyway, so in the book they don't like each other, they cannot stand each other, and because of that, that leaked to their kids, obviously, because of the people that bitch about each other to their children. So the boys, the kids don't like each other, so they're always fighting with each other, like what they show in the show and things like that. And then they all like Rhaenyra's kid being bastards, which we all know they are bastards. And also Kristen Cole, at the time when Daenerys was like 13 or 14, he was like 33. Okay, so he and even Alysanne were kind of like closer in age. Anyway, and Christian Cole is a bitter old man. He had one night with a 12-year-old girl, whatever girl you had, and because she won't run away with you and marry you, you are like bitter about it. Because again, as I said, they're going with, in the TV show, they're going with Mushroom's encounter, and Mushroom said Rhaenyra and Kristen Cole had a night together, and then he was like, oh, I've got like, we can run away together and like be together and blah blah blah. And then she was like, no, like what the hell, like why would I do that? Like you're so quick to kind of break your vows, a bit also as a king's god. Like, how quick would you be to break your vows, your marriage vows, we run away together? And also I'm a Targaryen, I'm the heir to the Iron Throne. Why would I leave that to go and be some sellswords, runaway bride kind of thing? So that I just like hated that, which is what is happening in the show. And I cannot stand Christian as well. Him and Alysanne, they are best friends that couldn't. Oh, again, I feel like there is an ulterior motive for the Hightowers. They're not, like, Alyssanne's not innocent, her dad is not innocent. They wanted the crown. And Viserys is such a weakling, I'm sorry. Like, he was just so adamant to have peace that he kind of turned a blind eye to so many things, and he let Otto and his daughter like kind of have free reign of the council and the deal of King's Landing. So I feel like they got so comfortable and got so like they overreached so many times. Like I know he fired Otto Hightower went over, but he brought him back again. Like it was such not a right thing. So because even before he died and before everything, there was like the split between like the blacks, which are the Targaryens, and the greens, which are the Hightower. They were divided because Alysanne was already wearing the greens. Her kids were dressed in the greens. Even though they are Targaryens, like they were already like, she would have changed her kid's name to Hightower because they just wanted the Hightower name to be ruling the Iron Throne. I just feel like they had my opinion, but that's kind of vibe I'm getting from this. So this next chapter is not like Viserys is dead. It's like the two sides of the Targaryens, the Greens, which are basically the Hightowers, and the Blacks, which is like Rhaenyra, Daemon, and their kids and stuff, and then Alysanne and her kids with her dad and Christian Cole. And at this point, Christian Cole is already Lord Commander. This is the last time I'm going to reference the TV show. I'm just going to like focus on the book now, because right now we're up to date. Like I think this is now season 2. Oh, and I think I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna cry. I just feel it, like literally, because everyone has died in the book so far. Because I don't really like seeing them on TV, so I'm gonna be upset. Going forward, I might be more upset. I don't know. I am Team Black all the way, like Targaryen. Of course, I'm gonna follow the Targaryen. What the fuck do I care about the fucking Hightowers? Like they're not. They are not. I am Team Black, and I hope Black wins, which is why I want to read this book so much. I don't want the fucking Greens to win, because it's not right. It's not right. They came out of nowhere-ish. Hightower were like, they were mentioned briefly along in the books, but all of a sudden just came up like the hungry, thirsty Otto, like just trying to like take over the Iron Throne because of what? Like, no, fuck you, you disgusting daughter, like fuck off. Like from this point forward, I'll be enraged. I'll just be Anyway, hi guys, it's Tuesday today, and I didn't speak to you guys last night because this is why I had to go get my hair. I went to get my hair done, and if you guys know anything about braids, it's not a simple like easy thing. This actually didn't take that long. It took 4 hours, and I just want to give you an update. I'm getting ready to go into the office now, so I'm just getting ready to go. But I wanted to just tell you guys how far I am with Fire and Blood. I'm now about 81% right now. And guys, I am sad. Not because the book is bad, don't get me wrong, it's great. It's just a story, like, oh, no one wins. Basically, no one wins. And I should have learned this after watching Game of Thrones. Like, literally, no one ever wins. Like, at this moment, I'm literally past the TV show now. Because I know the TV show is going to be 4 seasons, I think they've licensed out. So I don't know what they're going to cover. But at this point, I just finished the end of the Civil War right now that the House of the Dragon is about. And God, as I said, no one wins. Anyway, everyone is basically dead now, except Alysanne, which that bitch is a fucking cockroach. She'll never die. Oh, so that's why I'm sad. I'm sad because no one wins. And number 2, she outlived everyone. Like, I'm so fucking upset. Like, how is that bitch alive? She's awful. the saddest thing out of all this as well is that the dragons are dead as well. Like all the dragons are dead, so there are literally no dragons. I think right now where I am, there's still two. I think there's still two dragons by Baela and I can't remember his sister's name, Rena. They're both Daemon Targaryen's daughter from his second marriage to the princess of Valeria. Anyway, those are his daughters. So I think those two are still alive because when the civil war was going on, they kind of ran off, sort of like escaped somewhere into exile, but now they're back. Only their two dragons are alive, but all the other dragons are like dead. I think there's a little bit of a win because at the end of the day, Rhaenyra's son is now king, Aegon the third, and this is her last son with Daemon together. So in a way, the Targaryen blood is still going. So now he's the king, and then the queen, his queen that is betrothed to. Bearing in mind this boy is 10 years old, so they're still going to need a regent. And his queen is Alyssanne's granddaughter. So Aegon II's daughter is now married to Aegon. So basically, it's like they just reunited, which I'm just like. I know this is gonna sound disgusting, but like it's not disgusting for the Targaryen. If Rhaenyra just married Aegon II, they could have just rode together and kept the incest going. Like they all love incest anyway. Like why can't they just come together and just rode together at that point? And so that Aegon was a bit of a disgusting person, and the way he died was awful as well. Like he got poisoned by his people, so he won. So he killed Rhaenyra and everyone. Like, at the end, because he just went into hiding for a while. Anyway, so I'm just a bit sad about that. It's a fantastic read. Like the story is kind of like sad. Like it's very, very bloodsheddy. Like nobody wins. Like it's kind of where I am. So now the chapter I'm just starting now is called Under the Regent. Now Aegon III is now king. Is 10 years old. It's saying I think he ruled for 26 years according to this. And they're talking about his reign. His first and is Aegon Stark finished off everyone that killed, like he just finished off the war basically. But so he was the first hand of the king for King Rhaegon the third, but I think he just left. He resigned and went back to the north because he wanted to be in the north. But so yeah, so I've still got about like 116 pages. I want to finish this book today, which is doable because I am just heading to the office now. I'm probably going to read on my commute and then maybe read a little bit at lunch, and then this evening I have no plans. I'll probably read again this evening and finish it today because it's been dragging on for a while. Oh my god, the Unsullied just appeared. Oh, whatever. I have finally finished this bloody book. My god, this book took me over a week. I can't even remember what day I started this book. I'm finished. I am finally. Hi guys. Oh, let me move you guys closer. Hi guys. Now a couple of days. It's Saturday now. It's been like maybe 3 days since I finished Fire and Blood by George Martin, and I just realized I need to give you guys my feedback. It did take me that long to kind of like digest the entire thing. I've actually started reading another book. So as I said, I did rate this book a 4.5 stars, and I didn't give it a 5-star because it was just the confusion and the length, which was expected, but I was so confused because there was so many like names and so many different families and names are similar, so it kind of got confusing in a way. But I did read it. I still thoroughly enjoyed it. It was quite nice to get the entire like Targaryen history. I'm now really excited to read Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which is the next book I want to read. It talks a lot about like the continuation of this, about the Mad King and all like everything that happened before Game of Thrones. Really, that they talk about some of the histories Game of Thrones, but those books kind of talk about it. So I want to read that. But my thought on this book, right? I said I really enjoyed it. I am sad because nobody really won. One thing I did like, at the end they do give you like the issue. You can get to see like the names on how like aggression or the succession, the Targaryen succession, I guess, of like the dates of how the Targaryen kings and queens and things like that. So it gives it's quite nice to have a summary at the end. So I guess Rhaenyra did win because her kids basically took over the kind of where she left off, her kids were the ones that a line went continuously. So in a way, like, she kind of won. But I was really sad because, again, like, Alysanne, like, outlived them all. I can't stand it. Oh, so I was angry about that. And also, most of the dragons were killed and they all died, which is really upsetting to me. I was like, wow, that really upset me. This book is very graphic. Like, you think Game of Thrones is graphic and you see people dying left, right and center, but like, the books are the same way, and it's very like in line with the books, that the way that people just get killed off. Either they get killed off in battle, stabbed in the back by their trusty friends, or get poisoned, or they die from some kind of like disease or plague or something. So yeah, it's quite sad and stuff. And one thing I did find confusing is because, I think I mentioned it earlier, is that this book, because obviously this book is like kind of different people's point of view, and then they mention like a lot of like what mushroom. It's like a jokester kind of person, and the reference his point of view a lot, which I think that's what the TV shows are following, his point of view, because it's the front side kind of things, kind of section. So I feel like they're following that. All this suspicion and what he thinks from his point of view is what I'm seeing in TV shows. So I guess that's more like entertaining. Well, he kind of lived the end. I don't know, how did he stay alive? How did he manage to stay alive? Like, at one point it was like living with Rhaenyra and her family, and then he kind of was just following all the kings. I'm like, how is this guy still alive? Like, loads of like better people died and he stayed alive the entire time. So I was kind of intrigued by that. So I rated it a 4 stars, so I did enjoy it, and I'm really looking forward to reading the next book, which is the only book I really care about, to be fair, The Knights of the Seven Kingdoms. Right now I would pick up the entire, like, I want to read the entire Game of Thrones books, but if they're like this, I need a break between reading them. I can't just read them back to back. I will literally put me in a slum in a way. Like, it's just, yeah, I like to kind of, and I think that one might actually, I think the Knights of Seven Kingdoms is kind of similar. I don't think the dialogue's in it, because it's all, again, it's kind of from someone else's point of view, because I think it's about this guy and his squire and their documentary. So I think like a diary entry, like a journal entry kind of vibe. I think that's what it is from what I've seen, so I don't know. Anyway, so I wanted to kind of give you guys my review. I'm sure, I don't know if I gave it like my review properly in this one. I enjoyed this book. I'm really intrigued to read more. I'm sad because of how everything ended, the dragons dying. So, but the one thing, where this book finished off with Aegon III, who is Rhaenyra's son, it was a bit lackluster as a king, because it was like most of his reign was, he had a regent. So yeah, so he didn't rule that much, and it was very like almost depressed, really. I didn't think it was, obviously Rhaenyra was killed in front of him, so he witnessed his mom dying. So I think it was a bit depressed. He kind of woke up a little bit when his lost long brother Jaehaerys II came back into came back from like where he was like enslaved or whatever. So he kind of picked up a little bit, and he kind of went into hiding. One thing I was going to mention is how the hands of the kings are. I've not met one hand of the king that I've liked in this entire book. Like this book, none of them. They were all like meant to be like serving to the king's benefit, but none of them are. They're doing it for themselves. They don't want because they're so close to the power and they're ruling in the name of the king. They all like get clouded. They kind of get more hungry for the power. They all try to like set up their daughters to kind of marry the king so that they can rule. I don't know, because it's just weird, because like his hand of the king was really like basically a bully. Like, you shouldn't be here, so young, blah blah blah. Like, just really condescending and stuff. So like one thing I've noticed with hand of the kings are like not nice, and we saw in Game of Thrones, hand of the kings don't last long. They die because the only hand of king that I like, if I think about even with the Game of Thrones, it's obviously Ned Stark, and look at how he ended. Like, Ned Stark. And Tyrion Lannister, it was the hand of the king for Joffrey at one point, like standing in hand for his dad, and then also it was like hand of the queen to Daenerys. So yeah, so those are the two hand of the king actually I could tolerate. Everyone else is just so great for the throne and stuff. Anyway, so yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. It was very lengthy because the book was lengthy and it took me time. I hope you guys enjoyed me reading this book, all my rants about this book, everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you made it this far, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your support. And guys, we are now on 200 subscribers. There's 200 of you guys now. I just want to say thank you guys so much for supporting me. Like, obviously 200 is microscopic if you think about the YouTube world, but I'm really happy with this little corner of the internet I've carved out for myself, and I'm so happy you guys are happy to join me. And yeah, so thank you guys so much. I really want to know like how much your support means to me. And yeah, if you've loved this video, don't forget to like it, comment below, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next reading vlog. Bye guys.